Alright, it's been a week since I've made a video. I was out of town. Did some deer hunting. Ended up shooting this weird one. I guess it had a fork there. I don't really know what was going on that side. It's broke off, but this side's got quite a bit of mass to it. Pretty decent buck for where I hunt. So I've been out of town for a week. Last video I made was on the SS. Camera died on me, but last video I made was on the ss15. And I got some parts for it now. I got some more on order, but because when I went hunting, I had some stuff in West Virginia. I got that for the 18.6. It's a one-way check valve. That way all the fuel doesn't run out of the fuel line back to the tank and make it a pain to start after it sits for a while. And in here is, I don't know if I'm going to try to rebuild the original one or just put this on it. This is what I'm going to do to test it. I've got the newer style brakes, pulse pump. I might just throw that on there. And I got some other stuff too. I got a new roll of 1/4-inch fuel line in. I was out of that. I think that's all I got for parts. No, it's not. I got some more axle seals. And I believe this, I went to a local bearing and seal place and they matched this up. It should work for this. I guess it's for the brake band for the seal there. Unless I had the wrong one. No, I think that's it. It's 9/8/3/8 for the axle seals. So I guess this is supposed to be it. I might get on that project tomorrow. Well, tomorrow is Thanksgiving, so I won't be doing that. And I don't know if I put this in a video or not. All I gotta do is clear it. Got the frame painted. Getting closer on it. If I didn't have to go vacation, I probably would have had this majority painted, everything pretty much done, but that kind of slowed me down a little bit. But I'm gonna pull this out later. I'm gonna pull the fuel tank off of this, replace fuel lines, the pulse line for the pump, get started on that. And I ordered the set of barb fittings, so if I want to delete the fuel pump, I can just put a barb. It's 1/8 inch NPT to 1/4-inch barb, so I can just put a fuel line on it and gravity feed it. But I'm gonna work on getting this fuel tank off and getting it drained and all. Alright, it's been a little while. I got the gas tank pulled off, cleaned. I didn't end up running a fuel pump, I just went gravity feed. I can always put one on it. I gotta plug off the dipstick tube hole, but just ran something simple for now. If I want to put the fuel pump on it, I can. And there's some more of that nasty stuff that came out of the tank. I tried to clean it out the best I could without pulling it, but that didn't work. So I got the fuel hooked up. I still need to hook this breather up, but that's fine for now. Little breather tube. And choke cable's not hooked up yet, but it's got fuel to it. Just threw a battery in it. Alright, well, I tried to do something there. Alright, here's a little update. I just decided to pull the head, make sure the valves and all were working right. When I first pulled it, didn't feel like the valves were sealing very good. Still not sure about this exhaust valve. The intake valve feels pretty good. I cleaned all the carbon up. I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's still cross hatching in there. I just figured I might as well pull it. I'm gonna clean the carbon up. There was a bunch of carbon around the valves. Clean that up. Made sure both of them were moving. I could kind of see through the spark plug hole, but I wasn't sure. So I figured I'd just pull the head off. As you saw in the last clip, it's a runner. I noticed it had a new coil on it, so I reset the gap for the coil, checked the points gap, set that, cleaned them. Everything seems to be working all right now. Now I'm just going to clean up the parts I took off, the blower shroud and all that. And then throw it back together, see if it drives and all. I gotta check the transmission oil, maybe change it. It sat outside for a year, so chances are it got water down in it. I might put it back together enough and leave the hood and the grill off so I can clean some of this grease off of it. Gotta put air in this tire. But happy it's running now. So it didn't seem like a fuel issue because it did not want to run on fuel no matter what I did. And the carb's not perfect, but these things usually run pretty easy. And it's got a aftermarket coil on it. At first when I saw the plug wire, I thought somebody swapped it over to electronic. So I figured because I think you gotta adjust the timing. I did something on my other one that's under that blanket over there to get it to run right. And that's pretty cool. Roper Bradley belt on it, I guess original belt. So I'm gonna put some stuff back together, clean some stuff up, and then I'll turn this back on, go drive it around, see if the deck works. Before I use the deck too much, I'm gonna pull it off, pull the cover and grease the spindles and all. Alright, it's still running. I got it mostly put back together. Still need to get these gas tank straps tightened up. But I got the blower shroud, starter generator cover, PTO cover, got the belt and mule drive and the hood and all put back on. So, and I got both headlights working. The last video, only one worked. I went up and degreased the whole engine and all in the frame. Turned out pretty good. I'm gonna wait and go take it for a ride before I finish tightening up all that stuff. In case I gotta pull the gas tank back off for some reason. But should still start up, I hope. Alright, I can't remember what the last clip was, but after I got it running, I took it out and mulched up a bunch of leaves with it. I greased the spindles on the deck, spindles, the wheels, and the two other points underneath. And I just kind of got the port rigged up for the fuel pump for the pulse line. I just got a piece of hose with a bolt in it for now, just to block it off. And tomorrow I'm going up to Jarrettsville to get the guy I bought. Well, you can't see it now, I got a cover on it, but I got the 67 Super 12 from, it was all in primer, and I got the Suburban 12 from the same guy. I think I got 5 or 6 tractors from him. He found he has new old stock Tecumseh ignition parts, and it was for this motor. That's what was originally supposed to go on the Super 12, but I had a newer style with the gear start instead of the starter generator. But he found the ignition parts. He's got a couple carbs, which I like to have, and he said he has some Mowing decks. I don't know if they're for these or not. He said they're going to go to scrap if I don't take them, so I'm going to go up there tomorrow morning and get that stuff, because that Tecumseh stuff's hard to find and expensive. Because that motor looked pretty good. I pulled the head off of it when I got it from him, and it looks pretty clean in there. So I'm gonna go get that stuff tomorrow. And the other thing I found on this thing I want to address is I gotta see where that tire is leaking. It's not dry rotting too bad, it's probably leaking around the rim. So I'll either clean the rim, put the tire back on, or I'll just get a tube for it. Because I want to keep the original tires on it because they're in pretty good shape. They're not all dry rotting or anything. And last night I put the, I guess you could call it the drum, I guess, back on this transmission. But that's about what I got going for today. I don't know what I'm going to get into yet. I'm going to mess with this a little bit. Try to finish cleaning it up a little bit. I think that's about it for, I might call this video quits, I don't know yet. I might add some more in it. I gotta see how long it's gonna be. But it runs and drives. And I got a bunch of fuel caps coming. I should get a new air filter for it. Change the oil. I think I have oil for it. The oil doesn't look that bad in there, but I'd like to change it. Just because I don't know how long ago it was done. I can't remember if I showed the after, many degrees and everything. Turned out pretty good. I'd like to get some of this rust staining off the hood. That's just going to take the paint off because it's so bubbled, but I want to get some of the rust staining off the hood and clean it up a little bit more. This first 48-inch deck I had, it bowed pretty good. The center spindle was a little tight. It wouldn't cut on. I crawled underneath and spun it. And then I greased everything. These decks that the spindles get stuck on them. It's not noisy though, so I don't think the bearing's necessarily bad. It must have just got stuck from sitting. I put a new bearings in the center spindle on this 42-inch deck, and I haven't tested it yet. I threw it on this before I parked it here, but I think either this weekend or next weekend I'm going to get all these running, because some of them haven't been running a while. Run them before it gets really cold this winter. I'd like to get a new muffler for this because this thing's completely blown out. There's nothing left in it. And these shushers aren't very quiet when they're good, so it's pretty loud. I don't know how well you're going to be able to tell, but I spent some time and got this, I guess, left side fender all polished up. It looks a lot better than what the rest of it does now. I gotta get some more supplies and then I can finish the rest. I did a little bit on this fender, not much. And then I went back over the hood. We got a lot of the surface rust off. Put some wax on that. I'll probably do another coat, shine it up. And I did the PTO cover and the side cover there. Like I said, I ran out of stuff, so I gotta try to get that. And right now I got another coat of wax on the hitch plate. But it's cleaning up pretty good. I don't remember what the last thing I filmed was, but I spent some time and polished up the paint on the ss15. It's looking pretty good. So I believe this is going to wrap up this video. Like I said, I can't remember exactly what the last thing I did was and recorded. But it's about done. I need to find some material to make another footrest thing there. And this left front tire leaks. I gotta figure out where that's leaking, but other than that, I think it's good to go. Alright, it's Saturday morning. I just went up Jarrettsville and got some parts. I got this stuff from a guy that I bought 5 Suburbans from about 2 years ago. He gave me all this stuff for free. HH120 carb. Pretty good shape. I opened it up. It's got a little bit of rust where moisture or something got in it. And an OH160 carb. This thing's really clean. Hardly any dirt in it or in the bowl. And got this, which is pretty cool. New old stock ignition parts. I got this and the, I guess you call it coil. I got 2 of those coils. This part. There's another piece, but that's broken. I got this other coil with that stuff, steering wheel, center cap, some headlights. I got a couple things. And then he had 2 newer mower decks. I just robbed some parts off of them. I'm gonna scrap them. I think one came off of like one of those Craftsman 2s, the gray ones. And I don't have one of those, so all the spindles feel like they're locked up. But I did manage. There's a bar, that the little skid that runs underneath for that, for the FF20. It was exactly the same as the one on the one deck I got, so I took that off, put it on there. And yesterday I got the ss15 frame clear coated. Don't mind me, I feel like crap today, I'm sick. But I'm happy with these two carbs. I think I have the lid for this, because I actually got this stuff from the same guy I got the 67 Super 12 from, and it was all tore apart and primer. And I think this is probably the carb that was supposed to be for it. And there's the engine there, and I got all the electronic parts for the ignition system now. Got a little container full of bolts from that tractor, I guess. But, and I put that on, put the new seal in that. This is the part number that I ended up using for that brake drum. It seemed to work. I don't know if it's going to hold liquid back, but it pressed in pretty decent. Didn't have much problems there. But, and last video I was messing with this. Got this all polished up. I had problems with the spark. I adjusted the points, and because I lost spark out of nowhere, which I know I got water down in the points cover, because I degreased the whole side of it and all, and where the wire goes in the top of the points cover, it's kind of hard to keep stuff out of there. But it seems to be running good now. I might take it back out and run a little bit, because I mulched up some leaves with it the other day, but then yesterday I took it out to go. What the hell did I do? I went out to take pictures of it or something, because I got it looking shiny again, and it just died on me when I was riding it around. So I'm going to take it out here and make sure it's good again. I can start putting some of this crap together now. Damn. Wax got all the way back here on this stuff. I must have closed that lid and it must have shot everywhere. Anyway, I can start putting some of this stuff together on the frame now. I can put the front and the rear section of the frame together. I still got to paint the steering gear, or else I'd say I'd throw that on. My brother's using this, my little stand, to paint some stuff, so I usually throw the frame across the stand and then put front axle, spindles, all that stuff together, and the rear hitch plate, and then I'll have wheels and everything on the front and sit it on the cinder block on the rear hitch plate, and then I'll just lower it down on top of the transmission, or raise the transmission up and underneath of it. But I still got to clean that up and paint that. Get the wheels and the grill, a couple small pieces, but a lot of the big stuff's done. I actually got to go through here and see what pieces I got to clean up or paint that are in there, some smaller pieces. I'm sure there's going to be a couple. But figured I'd make a quick little video on what I just got. Pretty happy with these carbs, they're pretty decent. I like to use the original Tecumseh carbs. I guess they're Walboros, but I like to use them. I have a China one on the ST12, and it runs decent. It doesn't run good, but it runs decent. and I have one on the 67 Super 12. It runs good, but it's sometimes at higher RPMs it has just a slight little surge to it. And I've tried to tune it out of it. It's not coming out of it, so it's good enough. It runs pretty smooth. It'll just every once in a while it'll start having a little hesitation and surging. Not bad, but you can hear the RPMs get a little messed up on it. But alright, I think that's going to do it for this video. I have a clip or two from, I guess, 2 weeks ago or so. I'll probably add into this, just a general update, what I got going on. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, all that stuff.